Hello, everybody, and welcome to Joker's Wild Side Corner. Sorry, review. I am Lobo, and today we'll be reviewing the AEW All In pay-per-view in London, in Wembley. It was a good show. I very much enjoyed it, and thank you all for joining me for that. We're gonna start off first reviewing the whole show. We'll be reviewing it match by match, kind of loosely. If you wanna know more about one specific match, just let me know in the comments, and I could do a video separately on that. Um, the first match, we're gonna talk overall about the 0 hour all overall. It was okay, kind of pre-show stuff. I gave it a C. It was all overall. Those was it 3 or 4 matches was okay. Nothing too spectacular. We did have Willow win. Willow and the Ishii win. We have Dusty Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, um, Shibata, and the Von Erichs win their match as well. There was a 16-man tag match also that was took part. All right. Um, let's jump right into it though. As the first match was the first match we're gonna talk about is the FTW Championship match with uh the Learning Tree Chris Jericho putting his title on the line versus um Hook. It was, as we know, the FTW Championship will be defended with no rules, pretty much. There was interference like crazy. That's the thing I did catch about the show. There was a crazy amount of interference, or even in the matches that quote unquote did not have interference, kind of like the FTW match, the Jack Perry coffin match that also had no rules. The ladder match also had other people getting involved that were not specifically in the match. So that's it was through the whole show. I wrote down on every single match, outside interference or other people getting involved for every single match, including the ladder match I had. What's his name's mom trying to climb the ladder, whatever. But we'll go on off of that. Um, Hook gets the win here. Nothing too crazy. There were some cricket balls being involved in here, and a cricket bat that he swung for the fence definitely on that one. Um, but yeah, it was like I said, it was an okay show. I mean, okay match. My apologies here. Um, but it was a little bit rushed. Um, and I I don't know. Something about it did not really sit right with me. Um, so I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. I'm grading out of 10, not out of 5. I'm not Dave Meltzer, so don't expect that. The next match we're talking about will be the first match of the night after the 0 hour was the London ladder match for the Trios Championship. We have House of Black versus Bang Bang Gang versus Patriarchy, the champions, versus the makeshift tag team of Pac, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta. Um, there was quite a few spots that were not timed right here. Um, Nothing like too crazy where there was a big botch or something like that, but you could tell on certain things that they were waiting, either waiting for the other person to realize there was another spot coming up, or another one rushing into it too fast, and it was awfully timed. But I say it was only a few. Uh, like I said, what was his name? The patriarch's mom tried to climb and get the belts till Bang Bang Gang got involved, the guns, and put a stop to that. I want to see her get slammed. I'm sorry. I know she's probably not a professional at all, never taken a bump, but I would have loved to see her get slammed. Um, but yeah, Pac and Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta take the win. The announcers did make a lot of reference on Pac missing last year's All Out due to, sorry, All In. Not sure why, but they did say it a lot, so kind of gave up the ending of the match that he was probably going to win, get his moment at All In. I give this an 8.5 out of 10. It was still very entertaining. There was a big spot with the guns getting splashed through tables. So, I mean, it was not super crazy like most ladder matches where almost immediately they go off jumping off the top, high risk, crazy weapons, but it was still very entertaining with the chaos in it. So I very much enjoy that. The next match we're talking about is going to be the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Young Bucks facing FTR and Acclaim in a triple threat match. The Young Bucks retain here. There was interference. I'm trying to remember who interfered on that one. Mm, oh, the managers. The manager from the Acclaimed, Billy Gunn was interfering, but I don't know. It was just very much an okay match. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It was very there were some very cool spots there. There was also some mistiming on certain things, but with that many people, it's expected. 8 out of 10, not a bad match at all. Still very entertaining. As the anything the Young Bucks do are very much entertaining. We also had the Casino Gauntlet for a guaranteed title shot that had it was very much Royal Rumble esque, except the finish. Um, on how people would come in at certain times, randomized times. There was, I think, if I counted correctly, there was like one that took 3 to 4 minutes for someone to come in, and one immediately after that, a minute after, someone else came in. So it was the timing, I guess, is random, which makes it interesting, different for sure. Not the Royal Rumble. I did enjoy this match a lot. I was very much gonna give it a higher score, but the winner very much put me off on that. But um, there's a few surprises here. First of all, Ricochet debuted in AEW here. Uh, Happy to see him there. I would like to see him do his crazy style of wrestling that he was not able to do in WWE. Also, for one match apparently, we'll see. Uh, Excuse me, Nigel McGuinness surprised everybody in his hometown of, ooh, man, a lot of guys, sorry, of London, getting a huge pop. He has not wrestled in years, so this was fun to see. He was actually, since him and Daniel has a long rivalry from early 2000s in ROH, so I would have loved to see him win if since Daniel's, we'll talk about that later, but I would love to see him win. The winner was unfortunately Christian as he comes out limping, uh, whimpers his way out of parts, and then Luchasaurus comes in, or Kill Switch, whatever you want to call him, and helps Christian win. Ah, I'm tired of this bull, but I get why they're putting this. The amount of heat he generates. Besides Dom, I think he might be the second or third heat magnet in the wrestling right now. But Christian wins. I give this an 8 out of 10. Like I told you, I was gonna give it probably an 8.59, but Christian dropped down a little bit. Just a win overall. It's just I'm tired of those. Uh, we're Next one we're gonna do is the TNT Championship. Of Darby Allin and Jack Perry in a casket match, I think it was, or whatever they want to call it. Uh, I rated this one very low, not because of the spots or anything. It's just the way it looked. Jack Perry was in control majority of the match. Darby took majority of the offense. Like it looked like Darby was kind of getting buried, not completely, but because he did some spots, but it looked like Jack Perry was in control most of the match. There was a few spots that obviously Darby does all the time, but it was very much focused on Jack Perry. After Jack Perry retains, uh, he calls out the Bucks. They bring out the gasoline and they're about to set Darby on fire when all of a sudden Metallica hits and Sting appears and gets the save. Uh, Very nice to see him. That definitely brought it up a little bit, but still, it was like I said, it was just the overall match structure. Sorry, was too much weighted onto Jack Perry. There was never a time where I thought Darby Allin was going to win. And even though the announcer said that he had not lost one of these matches, Darby Allin still did not look at any point like he was going to win. So um, maybe it was rushed. I don't know. But I give it a 6.5 out of 10. It was very close to a 7. Sting definitely brought it up, but it was too much Jack Perry offense. So, like, I never had a doubt that Jack Perry was not going to win because of that. The next one we're talking about is the AEW American Champion. Now, MJF versus Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin. Entrances were great for both of them. Will Ospreay coming out with the sponsorship from Assassin's Creed. Awesome, awesome shit. Had parkour people, gymnastics people doing flips and shit on the background. That was fucking great. And then MJF coming with the All American Uncle Sam hat and red, white, and blue crap. So good. And then when he finally gets in the ring, uh, poppers go off, string or what are they called? Whatever they're called, but the party shit comes out with red, white, and blue, and then a big flag drops down with his face for every star on on the American flag. That was gold. It had me laughing. That was very, very, very good. Unfortunately, though, like I said, there was interference throughout all this show. This match also had interference from Garcia. Towards the end of the match, MJF pulls out some brass knuckles and stops him from using them. Um, and that allows Will Ospreay to get the win and bring back the international championship as Will Ospreay is the new champion. This one was a very, very good match. It's 8.5 out of 10. I was close to get it a little higher. It's just if the interference didn't happen, that would have been much better for me. But it just interference throughout the show kind of brings down the whole. It's just it's the same thing happening every match. It kind of brings down the the whole show overall. If it was just a few or the main few, I would have let that fly. But it's just every match had some sort of outside interference. Speaking of interference, also the TBS Championship match with Mercedes Moné and versus the returning Britt Baker. Um, this was a good match, uh, but like I said, there was interference as well from I can't remember her name at the moment, but Mercedes Moné had interference from her partner. Britt did look a little rusty in the beginning. Obviously, she's been out for a long time, but as the match went on, she looked much better. But it took her a second to get acclimated to the crowd and being back in the ring here in the live crowd specifically. Uh, Crowd was divided through the match as there were fans from both uh, the CEO and and Baker. It kind of flattened out the energy and the noise, so at times it was very quiet. But other than that, it was still a good match. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Um, like I said, just uh, the crowd being divided kind of lowered the emotion and the feeling in the match, and Britt Baker showing some rust, but that's to be expected with her being out so long. The last two matches that I'm going to talk about is the AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm defends her title against Mariah May. Um, there was also interference on this as the valet, I can't remember his name, got interfered a few times. Um, there was blood in the match. Mariah May slapped her mom. Geez, that heel move that she's doing is great. Um, I mean, this match was good. The blood, I understood why I needed to be in there because in the previous show of AEW Dynamite, uh, Tony Storm was bloodied up too, but um, maybe it could have been without or maybe in a different spot, but just a little off on that. But this still was an amazing match. I give this an A for sure, a 9 out of 10. This was a great, near perfect match, like I said. And then the final match, which also had interference or distraction, whatever you want to call it. It was the final countdown title match. It was versus Career versus AW World Championship. Swerve versus Brian Danielson. There was blood on here when Daniel Bryan. Jeez, I want to call him Daniel Bryanson. But anyways, when Brian Daniels it was slammed on the ring bell when Prince Nana put that belt on there, interference again. But also, he landed on the back of his head, so the blood coming out from his front did not make sense for me. But unless I missed something before that, but it was, if there was gonna be blood, it might have been somewhere else. But or if he had the guts, cut the back of his head a little bit instead of bleeding from the front. But it was just off for me. The story about his family, I get it. It's very emotional, very sweet. I think they overplayed it just a little bit, not too much. Um, but still, they did a great job in the match, telling a good story. Their interference, like I said, was throughout the show, but it's still, this match was 9 out of 10. Great, great work from both Swerve and Brian. I'm pretty sure Swerve will be champion again, as Danielson is a new AEW World Champion here. I gave that one a 9 out of 10. Overall, the show was freaking great. Overall, the show, I'll give it a B, 8 out of 10. There was a few matches that brought it down. Obviously, the whole 0 hour I'm counting as one match, not really 4 individual or 3 individual matches. The matches, the worst matches for me, I'm not counting the all 0 hour because sometimes they're good, sometimes they're awful because they're trying new people out, new things, trying to fit more people, getting spotlights here. But from the main card, I would have to say, unfortunately, the two matches that had kind of no rules, the FTW Championship match and the TNT Championship match. As, like I said, for the TNT Champion, Darby Allin just took all the offense, or most of the offense. It didn't, like I said, to me, Jack Perry, from the beginning, I never felt like he was going to lose, even though I wanted Darby to win. And then the Hook match, it just seemed, the pace of it was something was off about it. Um, it was not a bad, like none of these matches were bad per se, but those were the two worst matches of the main card. Um, the best matches, I'm gonna give two honorable mentions, and then I will give you my top two. The two honorable mentions here will be the where is it? The AEW American Championship match. I think this was such a great match. It would have been better without the interference. Like I said, I think that would have made it 3 matches of the night instead of two that I have. But fall short a little bit because of interference that happened throughout the card, like I'm saying. Um, but Will Ospreay versus MJF for that title was very good. From the beginning, the entertainment factor was off the charts. With the entrances, the match itself, the story that we're telling was very, very good. The other honorable mention is the London ladder match for the trios championship. I just love ladder matches, the chaos, the high spots, the risk factor just gets me going every time, gets the adrenaline pumping. And then the two matches tonight is going to be both the AEW Men's World Heavyweight Champion, the Women's World Champion, Tony Storm versus Mariah May, and Swerve Strickland versus Daniel Bryan. Oh, Brian Danielson, sorry. Those two matches I think stole the night, specifically story wise. Those two matches were great. They had great in ring performance as well. But yeah, those are my top. That was the AEW All In review. Like I said, I gave it an 8 out of 10. But tell me in the comments what you guys thought about the show, your favorite matches, and if you want me to review any matches specifically, let me know. But other than that, I've been Lobo. This was Joker's Wildside review. See you next time.